This is Pace Yourself to Health podcast.
Welcome to Pace Yourself to Health. I'm your host, Ruth King. I'm here with John Pace, the creator, the brains behind it, the motivation behind Pace Yourself to Health. John, welcome back.
Thank you. And I want to humbly submit that I like to consider myself the steward of this information. I mean, the founder or the mastermind. I'm just thankful to God that He's given me the passion about this topic because, beside where we're going to spend eternity, to me, this is the second most important thing in our human experience is the state of health and well-being that we either enjoy or not enjoy this thing that we call the human life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
And last podcast, we talked about breaking down the word fundamental into fun, and mental. So today we're going to talk about mental.
Absolutely.
Next time we'll talk about
Right on.
And then we'll talk about fun at the very end. How's that?
Sounds awesome.
All right. So let's get into the mental. What's the mental about all of this?
Okay. So let's break the mental side down and let's consider that first and foremost, every one of us every day are bombarded with thoughts. Right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, so...
the little voice in the back of your head is going...
constant
throughout
our entire human experience. So the mental thoughts, what we have to do, we have to start first and foremost. We're bombarded with thoughts all day long, every second of every day. We absolutely know that there's a portion that are good thoughts and positive and productive. And then, of course, we know that there's a portion that are negative and destructive. Mm-hmm. So the first thing we have to do is recognize we are the master of our thoughts. No one else controls that except us. We can make a conscious decision by executing our will to take a thought captive, extract it from our mind, and replace it with a truthful, positive thought. And that in and of itself, just focusing, let's face it, we get thoughts and we either choose to entertain or dwell on those thoughts or we discard those thoughts. We're all smart enough and intuitively, we all have this beautiful thing called intuition. We know beyond any shadow of a doubt when we're thinking good things or we're thinking bad things. The moment we discern that we're focused on or dwelling upon a negative thought, it's almost as if we're a large game hunter and we see this giant elephant and we want to capture that elephant. Those thoughts can become an elephant, but let's capture it when it's the size of a mouse before it becomes the size of an elephant. A worm, even better. The lowest, smallest form. But the moment we decide or discern that it's a worm, let's extract that thought and instantaneously replace it with a positive, powerful, and productive thought. Therein lies one of the biggest keys to the mental challenge that we all face every day. Listen, we're in a fight. We're in a good fight every day. The moment we get up, how many of us want to get up and start our day and go exercise and go eat good and right away we're reluctant. There's resistance for that. But when we break through that barrier of resistance, it just changes everything because we realize we have the control in our willpower to decide whatever it is that we know is going to benefit us, our family, our loved ones. And we just have to be responsible enough to say, we can't afford not to do this. It's time. It's essential.
Yeah. And the only thing we can control are our thoughts.
That, and then that leads into self-talk.
Yeah.
What are the conversations that we have with ourselves? And those conversations, a lot of time, I'm too old, I'm too this, I'm too that, look,
That's
ask yourself the right question and you'll get the right answer. If we ask the wrong question, of course we're going to get the wrong answer. It's not going to be an empowering answer. And that's what we're after. Good, positive, productive self-talk, replacing bad or negative thoughts with positive and productive thoughts, and then getting to one other aspect. There's tremendous power in what we say, what we speak out loud. There's electromagnetic energy and frequency and vibrations that not only go throughout our body, but out into the universe and to other people. So what we say, positive affirmations, I hear people all the time, successful people, saying such negative things about themselves, their life, their circumstances. Let's change that because we can.
Yeah, they're the only ones who can change that. I mean, if you look at just even the reactions to things that happen to you, I mean, what happens to you is just an event. It's your reaction to it that it makes it either makes you get mad, angry, whatever, or you look at it and go, terrific, that was great. It was an event. I might look at it totally different than you might look at it. I might have the experience of, 60 plus years on this earth to be able to look at that and go, oh, I handled that before, no big deal. Whereas a 25-year-old might go, oh my God.
Overwhelmed.
Yeah,
right.
and totally overwhelmed. And I'm like, no big deal. So it really is. Anything that happens is just an event. It's what you think about it and your reaction to it, whatever.
You said the biggest key. How do we respond?
Yeah. How do you respond?
We all go through, it happens to everybody, right? We all deal with the it's in life.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, it's just life. So the moment we get over that aspect, and life will never be fair, the moment we get over that, right? And that things
I
happen.
had that from the time I was a kid.
Right. It happens to all of us. So the moment we get over that whole aspect, and then we develop that positive mental perspective, look, there's good in every situation and circumstance, and we can grow and gain no matter what's unexpected things we did. We all deal with unexpected things. It's how we respond, how we reply, and we can always learn and grow from even the unfortunate things that happen to us.
Yeah.
It makes us stronger. It builds character. It builds faith. It builds all the essentials of life, of who we aspire to be.
And we're going to get into the health part of this side.
Oh, most definitely.
After the break.
But it starts with the mental, like you said.
It starts with the mental. And how you deal mentally really affects your health.
100%. Hormones, chemistry, and you are an expert in chemistry. You know more than I.
Watch it's chemical engineering.
Chemical engineering.
Right.
Even
I
more
am not a chemist.
No. But you know the biochemistry and the implications of that.
Yes, I do.
And physiologically what happens with negative things and negative, all of the above.
Yeah, you remember chemists cook and chemical engineers cook efficiently. All right? Just remember that.
Big differentiation.
Yes, absolutely.
Positively.
And on that note, when we get back from break, let's get into how it really and truly does affect your health, your positive mental attitude.
Absolutely. Look forward to it.
Yeah, this will be fun. So thanks for listening to Pace Yourself to Health. We will be right back.
It feels like cheating. Normally, I spend hours in the gym and maybe I'll see a little bit of difference in a month or two. With this one treatment, which is FDA approved, I spend only 15 minutes and lost 2 3/4 inches around my waist. You could get similar results with this painless, easy way to lose fat. Just ask Ruth King, host of the Contractor Sense podcast and a proud endorser of Pace Yourself to Health. Want to find out more? Just call Pace Yourself to Health at 888-599-7223. That's 888-599-7223.
We're back. Thanks for listening to Pace Yourself to Health. I'm your host, Ruth King. I'm here with John Pace. And we are getting into the mental of fundamentals with respect to pacing yourself to health. And before the break, we started talking about the little voice that's in the back of your head, whether you respond positively or negatively to an event, which is, something happening is just an event.
Sure.
And your reaction to it. But how does that really affect your health? How does that really affect, what's going on in your body?
Well, I mean, first off, when something happens unexpected, something that was not on the calendar, something that kind of curveball came out of the blue, your body instantaneously, first of all, adrenaline rushes into the system, the fight or flight, what do I do? It's a reaction that we're not really prepared for because it's unexpected, right? How we approach it, whether we put it into context that this is just an event. I'm going to get through it. This too will pass. Instead of making it like Armageddon is happening, my whole life is imploding, it's so vital that we look at things in proper perspective and realize that even in the unfortunate and sometimes even tragic circumstances, we're kind of meant to go through those things to grow as human beings, to strengthen us, and to even be encouragers to other people that are going to go through that in the future, that are our loved ones, family, and friends. So when we really break this down and dissect it, it's really simple. I mean, it just comes to the point where, hey, this is something that when we practice this, the outcome really proves to be worthwhile. And it's so much of a better way to live and a lifestyle to achieve because it's just a better way to live.
Yeah. Well, John, you're 58 years young. I'm 63 years young. And we have perspective.
Yes.
Because we've been through a lot. So we can say it's just an event. Somebody who's 21 years old, it's not just an event to them.
Sure.
COVID was not just an event to them. This is the first time in their lives. It's been a crazy year for us, and we've been through crazy times over the years. But Justin's sitting over there, our producer, and he's in his 20s. He's never seen anything like this before, right, Justin? No. So, they're experiencing it for the first time, and so they're going to have a very different reaction than we're going to have simply because they've never gone through something.
Right.
None of us have gone through COVID before, but we've gone through similar situations and things like that.
Different life experience.
So we can do things, but the reality is, I've watched a lot of people look at this and say, okay, what can I do? This is an opportunity to do something. And I've watched a lot of people who put their head underneath their pillow, covers over their head, and say, I'm going to come out when the media tells me I can come out.
Yeah.
So
that's unfortunate.
But the reality is that in order for us to be healthy, in order for us to be mentally, mental from the fundamentals.
Absolutely.
We absolutely need to think of it positively, I would assume.
No question. It affects every aspect from the enzymes, the hormones. Our entire physiology is affected by stinking thinking. Easy way to refer to it. But I mean, we have an epidemic of stinking thinking, and it begins with our thoughts. Mm-hmm. Let's face it, no crime has ever been committed without the origin of the thought of that crime.
That's true.
All right?
Yeah.
So when we look at outcomes, we look at circumstances, it's all a byproduct of our choices. And when we realize that all we have to do is manage that in a way when we discern this is not a healthy, productive thought, extract it from our minds, but replace it immediately with something that is positive, productive, whether it's a famous quote from one of your favorite people, whether it's a Bible scripture, whatever it is that works for you. I mean, everybody, there's so much commonalities, but there's also differentiation. So use what works for you. This is a formula. And therein lies the real essence and the whole concept behind Pace Yourself to Health is it's universally appealing because it's right for everyone. What's right for you is different for Justin, right? He's in his 20s, you're in your 60s. So you pacing yourself to your health is radically different than Justin. But we have a platform that can say, how and what way and what timeline do you want to make these changes? And you might say, I want to change one habit per week, where Justin says, I want to change 5. So he's going to be at a more accelerated pace than you, but you're both going to wind up achieving what we call your human optimization state, which is this journey that we're on to why not live life to the fullest? If we can, by our choices, why not implement a plan, no matter who we are, no matter what our differences are, let's get something that's compatible for our lifestyle, for our preferences, and that's why our program works for everybody across the board versus Ruth, you got to do P90X tomorrow.
Oh, my gosh.
I mean, my goodness, how many people in the United States of America can do a full session of P90X? And yet they've sold
be
bazillions.
Okay the next day.
Not be, right, conscious and able to move around the next day.
Yeah.
I mean, a fraction of Americans can actually do it. But yet millions have bought it and it's sitting collecting dust on their shelf because it's just not practical. So we want to give people a practical plan with sensible science-based solutions to optimize their life, their immunity, their vitality, all the things that life is about. And therefore, once that happens, let's face it, the essence of life is relationship. Right? The relationship between our loved ones, the people closest, family, friends, our sphere of influence. When we have this in right perspective, it changes all of that. The relationship side of it. Our relationships get so much better because we bring our best self to that relationship. If I show up to my relationship with my wife and I have all these issues with my self-esteem and my self-image, I'm so at a deficit.
If you had your pot belly, I don't think she would. I don't think Leslie would like your life.
Oh, goodness. I hit it so well. My wife was like, that was you? I never took my shirt off in front of her, so I hit it really well.
Yeah.
But it's such a powerful confirmation that when we embrace these concepts, we always say, hey, don't believe what we say. Proof is in the pudding.
Yeah, do it.
Do it.
Try it. Yeah.
Try it for a month. And here's the thing. And Ruth, there's so much content, so much information. But again, keeping it simple, keeping it organized. anybody that thinks overnight they're going to dive into this radical change to transform their
It
life.
won't work. It doesn't
It's not
work.
going to work. It's not sustainable.
No, it's not.
Our taste buds need to be transformed because of the sad American diet that has warped them. How are we going to find good foods tasty when we're so addicted to sugar, which is more addictive than cocaine?
We're gonna talk about sugar at some point in
I
time.
mean, goodness.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is a joke. When you sit and watch TV, we're bombarded by, last night, in one set of commercials, 90% of the commercials were horrible fast food, junk food commercials. The other percentage was pharmaceuticals that they're telling you, we're going to alleviate these symptoms, but you're going to get all these other symptoms
instead. So cool.
I mean,
yeah, it's crazy.
Talk about oxymoron.
Yeah,
It's like,
no kidding. All right, so this session was on mental.
Yes.
Next session will be on duh.
Okay.
And then the following session will be on fun, so that we have the entire fundamentals for Pace Yourself to Health.
right on.
Will that work?
That will work.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. It's my honor and pleasure.
And thanks to all of you for listening to Pace Yourself And thanks to all of you for listening to Pace Yourself to Health. I'm Ruth King, your host. We'll see you next time.